Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
One thing the Father emphasized concerning this month, which He repeated over and over unto us, He said that this month, that the enemies will want to play some games. And He told us to pray to stop it. The games of darkness, the games of the enemy. Say we should fight against them, so that they will not be able to play the games against us. Especially so that they will not score goals against us. And that's why today, brethren, we are talking on what I call killing the crafty gamers of darkness. The enemy's operation is so crafty and so clever and so subtle. The way they operate, sometimes you cannot understand. Many people, their trouble starts from possibly in the dream. In the dream, that's where the trouble starts from. And it could start like a play, like a joke, like a game. You just play that thing and then you just discover that they scored the goal against you. And you just wake up and say, what kind of dream is this? You just wave it off and walk away. Meanwhile, the enemies have scored a major goal. It's just a matter of time before you begin to see the effect, the impact of that goal they scored. So, brethren, if at any point in time in your life, you've ever seen yourself playing football in the dream, playing basketball, playing tennis, playing any kind of game, it could even be such that sometimes the enemy could use a grain of bean, very tiny grain of bean, as the ball they want to play, so that to make it impossible for you to score. Sometimes they could even fold ordinary paper and say they are kicking it against each other. All those are crafty games, very deadly games. Because whatsoever happens there, whosoever scores has now achieved a serious breakthrough. So we are looking at this thing, we are going to deal with the enemies, deal with the gamers, the players that the enemies have trained to carry out this operation. If you understand the Father very well, anytime the enemies want to do anything, that's the whole essence of spiritual gifts. That's the whole essence of revelational gifts. Gift of prophecy, gifts of dream, gifts of all these things, is to tell you ahead, to inform you ahead, look at what your enemies are planning, so that you could stop them before they carry out the attack. So that you could stop them before they carry out the operation. Look at the gift in the prophet Elisha. He used it to frustrate the king of Syria. The king of Syria will plan his war, plan everything, draw their strategy. We are going to stay here, we are going to do ambush here. He will just call the king of Israel and say, don't go there, that's where they are staying. So you see, the sole essence of the gift of God is to warn you ahead, to prepare you ahead, to help you to fight your enemy at a position of advantage. Let me show you how God himself operates. Let me show you how he operates. In Job chapter 5, Job chapter 5, look at verse 12. He's talking about God. He says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. Do you see that? He did not touch the crafty, he did not touch the enemy. He just went for their what? Their devices. Their game. What do you use most of those? Is game. Is game. He said God will therefore target those games and disappoint them and frustrate them, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Anytime they begin to devise anything, it's because they want to achieve something. Why do you do enterprise? You want to win. You want to gain. You want to make profit. He said God will target all those things and frustrate them, so that they will not be able to perform what they have in mind. Verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And when you talk about wisdom, brethren, the children of darkness, they are wiser than the children of light. He said the only thing God does is to take them in their craftiness. And one of such craftiness, why don't they come to you in the physical, in the afternoon, and say, come, let's play a game? Why do they choose to come in the dream? Why do they choose to come at a point where you are not too much conscious, where you have not too much control? It's because of craftiness, so that they can win. because that is their own territory. That's where they have advantage. So he said, take out the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Verse 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime. That's what God does with them. When God has frustrated their craftiness and their ambition and all their devices, they will begin to stagger. In the daytime, they will be like they are in darkness. Verse 15. But he saved the poor from the sword. Do you see that? So if you combine from verse 12 and see what God has done, you see the ultimate agenda of the enemy. They had a sword in their hand. They wanted to kill the innocent, the poor. They wanted to attack the innocent, the poor. But they didn't just come straight and say, no. They came with devices. They came with craftiness. They came with pretension. So that the poor, the needy, the ignorant will fall into their hand. He said, I saved from their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. From the hand of the mighty. Brethren, let me tell you this. The games of darkness could be very deadly. Could be extremely deadly. Very, very deadly. And it can change life and destiny forever and ever. The games of darkness. You know, it reminds me of this testimony they shared with us. That there is this man, a well-respectable man, a man that's working in a very high-profile place and everything, very somehow middle something, not too rich, but very comfortable. And then the man just suddenly became mentally unstable, had mental health attack problem. And they rushed him to hospital. And the hospital, of course, they would diagnose all kinds of things. And somebody said, take him to the church. And they brought him to the church. And they prayed for this man. And the man was getting himself gradually. Was recovering gradually. And they asked the man, did you have any dream? He said, dream? I can't remember. He said, no. I had a dream before this incident. They said, what kind of dream did you have? He said, in the dream, we were in a court of law. You know, like, he said it was inside his house. They did it like children play, like court. And the judge was his last daughter, the small child, was the judge, sitting on this thing. So they were doing like play. And they now said they were judging him. It was the man that they were judging in the court. And the small child, sitting as the judge now, just took the mace and said, I found you guilty, and hit him on the head with that thing. That's all. The man woke up mad. So when they now said, okay, go and bring that child, they brought the child. And ministers started to pray. And they prayed and prayed, and they discovered that that child has been operating with more terrible spirit than they believed. And they asked the child, what is the offense of this? What did your father do to you? He said that they gave meat to every person, and they looked at her as a small child, the smallest. They gave her the smallest meat. That's the punishment. That thing that started like a joke inside their house. And thank God the man even saw it in the dream. The thing that started like a play. You see how it has altered that man's life. You see how deadly it became. That thing will have destroyed that man forever. So when you see the enemy playing games, brethren, do not laugh over it. Don't take it lightly. Deal with it with all seriousness. Look at, I want to show you a game that the enemies played. And that game became a generation, an eternal destruction. Look at Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. Look at verse 1 now. The serpent. The serpent. You know, sometimes we see animals of all types in our dreams too. Different animals. You see snake, you see dog, you see this one, you see this one. What kind of fellowship do you have with them? What are they looking for in your dream? In the physical, you have no pet. In the physical, you are not close to any animal. What are they coming to your dream to do? Who are they? Who sent them? These are issues that turn people's life upside down. That turn destinies upside down. I have shared this with you before. This woman that came, she said, sister, she came to me for prayers. And she told me all kinds of trouble. Everywhere trouble. Everywhere. To the point, even house that council gave her, council was suing her to court for it. It was so bad, everything was just upside down. And when she told me all the troubles, I said the first thing we have to do is, let's even find out first where your trouble is coming from. So that we even know what we are fighting against. We even know who is behind this. Let's first of all unmask the source of your trouble. I gave her a prayer. I said, go and pray this prayer. Whatsoever you see, come back and tell me. And then she prayed that prayer. She prayed that prayer. And then she had a dream. In that dream, she said that her whole flat, the whole house, were filled with snake everywhere. Everywhere. Snake covered the whole house. She was so afraid and so terrified in the dream because her baby was upstairs alone. And she was like, how am I going to do? They will kill my baby. They will bite my baby before I will get there. She was struggling to go upstairs. They beat her on the bum. She ran upstairs and all those things. She now woke up. I say, okay, at least we have been able to achieve something. We now know you are dealing with witchcraft. And it's not one. So let's now put faces to those snakes and know who they are. I gave her another prayer. I said, go and pray this one again. When this way you are going to pray it. You, the snakes, put on your human face. Let me see your faces. Wear your original identity. I want to know you. Pray like that and go to bed. She prayed it. She went to bed. And she had another dream. And she saw those snakes again everywhere. In that dream, she started to pray that prayer. And then one by one, all the snakes turned to human beings. And she saw all their faces. Apparently, she has been using her house as house fellowship for the church. And all the whole house fellowship members, they are the snakes. And so she came back and told me, I said, look at what I saw. I said, at least we have been able to identify where your trouble is coming from. So they've turned your house to a coven. You put it down for a church service, but they converted it to a coven. You see, those are the serpent biting you, biting everything in your life, causing you pain and agony. So, brethren, what are we saying? You see, there are things that will start like a joke, like a game. Before you know it, it will turn deadly. It will turn deadly. Look at that Genesis chapter 3. Look at verse 1. He said the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God has made. When you say something is subtle, something is clever, the first one we read, it says crafty. Every game on earth, every game, they always look for skillful, crafty, subtle players. Every game, they look for very subtle players, and they always pay them very high, very big. If you're a subtle player in any game, and you are scoring goals, and you can make impact, they will pay any amount for you. That's how it is also in the spirit realm. They go for players that can score goals. And so this serpent was the one that Satan found. And Satan now said, yes, this is skillful play. For this type of game that I want to play, this is the right player. And Satan went to that serpent. And he said unto the woman, yeah. Do you see how he started the conversation? Yeah. So informal, so relaxed, so friendly. He said, yeah. Had God said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden, that's not where the serpent is going. It's just to get the woman talking. It's just to win the woman's heart so that they will get into conversation. He says, is that what God told you? That's not true. Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. That's our first mistake. You don't reveal some of the things God told you to anybody, especially things that concern your life. Life or death matters. Samson had a secret that meant his life or death. And that was what the enemy targeted. They wanted to know what is the secret of your life or your death. And Samson foolishly revealed it to Delilah. So this woman should have said, no, don't worry. God said we should eat everything. Don't worry yourself. And if serpent is going to tell them, I'm not hungry. But she now went and revealed that thing God told them as confidential for their life. She put it in the hand of her enemies. But do you know the serpent didn't come as enemy? The serpent didn't come that, well, look, I'm coming to play game with you, and if I defeat you today, you are going to become naked, and you are going to be ashamed forever, and you are going to be driven out of this garden. The serpent didn't come in that manner. He came as a caring friend, as a concerned friend. Are you hungry? Have you eaten today? Somebody asking you such questions. Is he not a caring person? Now look at what follows. Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. The game has started, O brethren. The game has started. The game has started. It comes now, kick to me, I kick to you. Just like that. Say, God knows any day you eat it, your eyes will open, and you shall be as gods. It touches a sensitive part. Must have been monitoring the woman for long. That this woman must have been desiring in her heart to be a goddess. So you say, if you eat this thing, that your heart desire will come to pass. You become a goddess, knowing good and evil. Verse 6. And when the woman, you see, immediately the serpent touched that button, the woman now started to consider it. No more argument. Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise. That's what she was looking for. She wanted to be wise. She wanted to become a goddess. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. That's the first thing. The game has been played. Satan has scored. Satan has scored a decisive goal, a major goal. And this is what the Father said we should stop. He said we should fight to stop the enemy from scoring a major goal against us. The serpent has scored the goal. The winner has been decided. Now it remains the pieces of the consequences. Now look at what follows. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves apron. That's the consequence. Start to pick the pieces of their life now. Verse 12. When God now came and called the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent did what? He said, the serpent dribbled me. The serpent dribbled me and scored the goal. The serpent dribbled me. Before I knew it, he had scored. He beguiled me, and I did eat. Verse 16. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. Do you see the consequences now? This is what you call the consequence of defeat. The price of defeat. The sorrow the woman has never known before since she was created, the sorrow has come in as a result of the defeat. And thy conception, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. She was demoted immediately. Verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. Do you see curses have started to set in now? These were people that were created without curses before. Curses have started to set in. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Is it not happening today? Verse 24. So he drove out the man, threw them out. And he placed at the east of the garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. He drove them out. Brethren, that defeat, that thing that started like a harmless conversation, that thing that started like a friendly, caring discussion, led now to the destiny of that woman and husband being altered forever. Not only their children too, their unborn children, and their descendants after them forever and ever were affected by that simple game. Game of how many minutes turned the lives upside down forever. So that's why when we talk about the game of darkness, you don't joke with it. You don't joke with it. You fight it seriously. The destinies of mankind from generation to generation were altered permanently by this simple game. Some games, brethren, lead to death. Some games lead to destruction. Do you know that if the enemies inform you that they want to play games and they tell you all the consequences, if this happened, told Eve, say, I just want to beguile you. I want to deceive you. And then when I finish deceiving you, you become naked and you will sow leaves and be covering your shame. And shame will come upon you and God will curse you and drive you out. Do you think if the serpent told Eve all those things, she will eat that thing? No. She wouldn't eat it. But you see the way the serpent presents, that is the craftiness. That is the dribbling in the game we are talking about. So the enemy sometimes, let me show you this, it's a different case. In 2 Samuel chapter 2, 2 Samuel chapter 2, look at verse 8. It says, but Abner, the son of Ner, Abner was the captain of the King Saul. He was on the side of King Saul when King Saul and King David were fighting. So Abner was the captain of the army on the side of King Saul, and Joab was the captain of the army on the side of David. So captain of Saul's host took Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim, and made him king over Gilead, and over the Ashurites, and over Jezreel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, over all Israel. Because when King Saul died, together with Jonathan, this is what Abner did. He now made another son of King Saul king. Verse 10. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel. And he reigned 2 years. He has been in the throne for 2 years. But the house of Judah followed David. Verse 11. And the time that David was king in Hebron over the house of Judah was 7 years and 6 months. And Abner, the son of Ner, and the servant of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, went out from Mahanaim to Gibeon. And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, and the servant of David, went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon, and they sat down on the one side of the pool and on the other side of the pool. Do you see that? Two enemy side. Joab this side, Abner the other side. They sat at the other side of the pool. Verse 14. And Abner said to Joab, let the young men now arise and play before us. They say, let's do games. Let's play. Let our soldiers play. And Joab said, let them arise. That's a good idea. Let us play. Verse 15. Then there arose and went by number 12 of Benjamin, which pertained unto Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and 12 of servants David. So they chose 12. 12 men from here, 12 men from there. They came out. Verse 16. And they caught every one his fellow by the head and thrust his sword in. So they captured each other and put sword and stabbed themselves together at the same time. So they fell down together. It's a game. They are playing games. So the 12 this side, they stabbed each other. They fell together. The place was called Hekat Sazurim, which is in Gibeon. Verse 17. And there was then from that game, battle broke out. War broke out. There was a sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Israel before the servants of David. Verse 30. So when they were beaten, they started to pursue them. And Joab returned from following Abner. And when he has gathered all the people together, there lacked of David's servants 19 men and Asahel. Asahel was the younger brother of Joab. Asahel pursued Abner and was determined to kill Abner that day. And Abner ended up killing him. So because of that, Joab became angry that he killed his younger brother. So at the end of the day, about 19 or 20 men from David's side died. But the servant of David has smitten Benjamin and Abner's men, so that 360 men died. David lost about 20. The other one lost about 330. They say it's game, oh. They say it's play. But do you know why this game turned out like this? The target was Abner and Joab, the leaders. But because they informed each other, they prepared for this. Say, let us play. So everybody was anticipating what was coming. Now, because of that, Joab didn't achieve his purpose. He wanted to kill Abner at all costs. Now look at what followed. Joab knew that for you to succeed, for you to achieve your goal in any game, you don't tell the enemy your game plan. You don't tell the enemy your strategy. You don't reveal to the enemy you are playing games. You take your enemies by surprise. And that's when you begin now to see things. So the next time, Joab corrected that mistake. Look at what happened in 2 Samuel chapter 3. 2 Samuel chapter 3. Look at verse 23. 2 Samuel 3 verse 23. It says, when Joab and all the hosts that were with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, because something has happened. Abner was angry with the son of Saul and wanted to switch to the side of David. So he came and visited David and went away. So they now told Joab, they say, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he has sent him away, and he's gone in peace. Verse 24. Then Joab came to the king and said, what hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou hast sent him away and is quite gone? Verse 25. Thou knowest Abner, the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thy going out and thy coming in, and to know all that thou doest. And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sirah. So he now sent messengers. He said, go and call Abner. Go and tell him that the king wants to see him again. Bring him back. But David knew not. Verse 27. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to do what? To speak to him quietly, like a friend wants to speak to your ear, wants to give you a message. You see now, Joab corrected the first mistake. Joab didn't say, Abner, sit there and sit here, let's play game again. No. This time around, he pretended to be a friend. This time around, he pretended to have a message. This time around, he didn't give him any clue that they are going to play any game. He took him aside and said, let me tell you something. To speak to him quietly. And what did he do? That one too was not suspecting anything. He was listening to hear what message the king has for him. And he smote him there under the fifth rib, that he died. That one was thinking that he wanted to give him, he just pushed knife into him and killed him there for the blood of Asahel, his brother. You see how he achieved his goal. I told you that crafty games, they can be deadly, brethren. Very, very deadly. They can be very, very expensive. The consequences can be very terrible. If the serpent told Eve, Madam, I have just come to beguile you, Eve will quickly run away. If, for example, Joab told Abner, hey, Abner, I just brought you back to kill you, Abner will have fought for himself. Abner will have struggled to see how he can escape. But he didn't give him that clue. This is exactly how the enemy plays the game. They don't give you any clue. They don't let you know they are targeting yourself. Except by revelation, you will never know what they want to achieve. Look at Luke chapter 22. Luke 22. Look at verse 31. Luke 22 verse 31. And the Lord said, this is the Lord Jesus Christ himself. Do you know this thing was going on? And the person that Satan was targeting didn't even know. The person they are going to play the game against didn't even know there was a game coming. Just like you go to bed every night simply without knowing that the enemies have planned a game. Just like you stand up in the morning to go to work, you don't know which game they have prepared. Look at what follow here. The Lord said, Simon, Simon. Why did he call him 2 times? Emphasis. For him to listen carefully. For him to get the message. For him to take it seriously. Just like the way the Father emphasized this into us this month. He says, Simon, he said, behold, Satan has desired to have you. He wants to play game with you today. But do you know Simon did not see it? Do you know Simon had no clue that Satan was targeting him for a game that night? He says, Satan has perfected all his plan and he's going to play game with you today. And what is his target? If he scores, if he defeats you in that game, he wants to sift you like wheat. Do you know how they sift wheat? Corn and all those things. You sift it when they finish harvesting it, and the husk and all those chaff, they sift and remove all those things so that you can get the proper grain. He said that's how Satan wants to do it today. He wants to sift you and remove every good thing in you and leave only chaff, worthless chaff. Verse 32. He said, but I have prayed for thee. He said, that thy faith fail not. He said the game is going to have incremental consequences. The first thing is one, he will score the goal and then sift you. When he finishes sifting you, he will now make your faith to fail. You'll never be a Christian again. You see how deadly, brethren, the game of darkness could be. See how deadly. Look at what he now told. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Why converted? Why converted? Which means the thing the Lord was saying has taken place already in the spirit realm. It has finalized in the spirit realm. Satan has played the game and finished Simon already. It's just him, and his faith has already disappeared. So the Lord is saying, my prayer will make you to convert and come back again to faith. My prayer will make you to convert. He said, when you are converted, help your brethren too. Because those ones too, when he finished playing with you, we jump on another person. Verse 33. And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee, both into prison and to death. That's the flesh speaking. That's the flesh. You say, me? Who is Satan? Verse 34. And he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day before thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me. Say, this is the sign. This is the game. The game will soon set. They will soon pass the ball. And the game will start. Before day will break, before the cock will crow, you will deny me 3 times. You will say you have never known me before. So, what was the Lord giving? Do you know Peter had no idea this was coming? Peter had no clue that this was what Satan was planning. Satan, he says Satan himself is behind this. Satan is the one coming to play this game. And Peter had no idea that Satan was coming to play this game with him and to score. And the price will be so deadly. He will sift him, remove all his virtue, remove all his glory, remove everything that the Lord has invested in him for the 3 years. Take away everything and leave him ordinary chaff. Jesus said, I have prayed for you. And that's why we are going to pray here today. Prayer is just the only way out. Prayer is the only way out. That's why we are going to pray here today. And that's why the Father instructed us to pray against their games. Do you know the game still went ahead? The game still went ahead. And do you know that Satan still scored the goal against Simon? Do you know that Satan still sifted him like wheat? The only thing that the prayers of the Lord did not allow was the faith of Simon to fail. He said, I've prayed for you so that your faith will not fail. Every other thing came to pass. And that was the trophy that Satan was targeting. That was it. Because why? Because before this point, Jesus had done something. He has handed over the key of the church to Peter. He said, upon this rock, I build my church. And so what he was targeting was the same thing he did to Eve. The same thing he did to Eve in the garden. He wants to do it to Peter to collect that key again from him. To sift him and collect that key. And kill the church at his fancy. So that the church will not go anywhere. The Lord said, I have prayed for you so that your faith will not fail. And true, brethren, that night, in that kind of crowd, where so many people were, all the maiden and all the guests, there's nobody else they see to accuse apart from Simon. They will go up and down, go up and down, go up and down. They will come and say, you are one of them. We saw you with them, and they start to swear and continue to deny. Do you see how Satan plays his game? He can even position somebody in your place of work, and that person will be the one dribbling you. Heavy dribbling. You come early in the morning, we start with provocation. For use provocation to greet you. You will nearly swear. You will nearly hit somebody. It's all game. There's something they want to sift. Maybe you just finished night vigil that night, and you got a lot of things from heaven. They want to sift you and collect all those ones first. Where this message came to us was when the Father was telling us that when we do our new moon prayers, they don't care again. Before, they will struggle with us to see if they can collect the moon from us. He said, but they now discover they cannot fight us. What they have resorted to do now is they allow us to collect the month. They allow us to collect all the blessings of the month, to collect all the fruits of the month, and then they will come and play game over it. They come and play game. And whosoever wins game carries trophy, collects the prize. So they will just come and play game and then collect everything again, simply and easily. Which was why the Father said, fight them. Why? Because that's the month we made our covenant. The covenant of ease. So that life will be easy for us. And do you think they will be happy with that? That life is easy for us. They want to see how they can play game to collect the key of that covenant. But then that's what we want to fight against today. Already that new moon prayer, we prayed some very good prayers here. And after that prayer, I sent that prayer out to you. I sent that prayer to everybody. Don't delete that prayer. Don't throw that prayer away. Make sure you have that prayer. Anytime you are free, you are relaxed, you are sitting, put that prayer. Even if you don't have energy to pray, let it be playing into your spirit man. Put your headphone, let it be playing into your mind, into your soul. Because that prayer is very serious. And this one we are going to pray here now, this night. So, brethren, it's time now for prayer. Let's stand up on our feet. Where possible, we will pray to stop them from playing the games. And if it is too late to stop them from playing the games, we will stop them from scoring against us. If it is too late and they have scored already, we can nullify the games and nullify the scores. Because all those things are possible in any game. There are people that have scored goal before. And they'll go and check the CCTV camera and say, no, this goal should not stand. And they cancel it. So those are the kind of prayers we are going to pray here today. And the Lord will fight for us. Let's close our eyes and begin to pray like this. My God and my Father, forgive me, Lord, of everything that I did that will not allow you to fight for me today. Everything that I did that will not allow you to help me, that will not allow you to deliver me. My Father, forgive me, Lord, and have mercy on me.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.